Hi everyone and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to be going through 4 types of popular coloured pencil brands and I'm going to be comparing them to each other to hopefully help you decide which ones you want to buy and what ones are good for different things. So the brands I'm going to go through are the Prismacolor Premiers pencils, Faber Castell Polychromos, Caran D'ache Luminance and the Derwent Lightfast. So they're all ones that are popular and are used by artists. I'm going to start off by comparing the Prismacolor Premiers pencils. These are one of the cheapest options out there. These are waxed based and they come in this round barrel. The barrels are relatively thin, but they're still pretty good quality. They come in sets of 24, 36, 48, 72 and 150. I've got the 150 set. I think I got them for Christmas, and the amount of colours, like the variety of the colours in this set is amazing. They do have a very wide colour selection compared to other brands, because there's 150 pencils as opposed to quite often they have like 120, but yeah, these have just a really wide variety of pencils colours. They are very soft and creamy and they blend together extremely well. So you can see here, like, I'm blending a couple of the colours together and it's so effortless. They're just so creamy and they just blend so well. So that's definitely one of the great things about these pencils. They're very popular with people that do like colouring books like this because they're so bold as well. The colours are so opaque and bold, and yeah, you can see here the way they blend. It's just so easy to burnish them. They don't leave any streaks. The only problem sometimes is because they're so creamy, they can smudge slightly. So if you're using them for like a colouring book or something, and then you turn the page and then colour on the other page, it does transfer sometimes because they're just so soft. These ones though, they are quite difficult sometimes to work in with the smaller spaces and with like really like small details and stuff because they're so creamy. They just kind of they just don't work for that quite as well. Another disadvantage about these pencils is they just break so easily. So the barrel, the actual wood casing breaks quite easily, and also the actual lead breaks really easily as well. So if you've got them sharpened to like a sharp point, they quite often break. And also because they're so soft, they wear down super easy as well. So these are the cheapest out of the ones I'm going through today and comparing, but because they're so creamy, you get through them quicker. So over time, I don't know if it would be the cheapest option. I'd say these pencils are probably fantastic if you're going to use them for colouring books or really bold like cartoony pieces, but maybe not if you're doing really highly detailed pieces because you can't get as smaller details with these pencils compared to some of the other brands that I'm going to be comparing with today. And these pencils have okay lightfast ratings, and a lightfast rating is like how quick they would fade under the sun. So if you have like a good lightfast rating, it means they're going to last like 100 years or more in natural, like not in pure sunlight, but just if you've got it hung up on your wall or something, they're going to last quite a long time. So I think about 85 of these pencils have a rating of 1 or 2, which is really good. That's more like artist quality. And the rest of them are lower. So they've not all got fabulous lightfast ratings, which is why I wouldn't necessarily use these for my professional artwork. I use these more for like colouring books and things like that because of the boldness as well. So these do have their pros and cons as well as any coloured pencils, but overall they are a good choice. Now moving on to the Derwent Lightfast pencils. These ones are oil-based and these are a much higher price than the Prismacolor pencils, but when you feel the pencils, they're immediately much higher quality feeling compared to the Prismacolor pencils. They just feel more high quality, like the wood is just better quality, the lead is better quality, they're just better quality in general, which I guess you would expect by paying a higher price. These pencils also have a really deep, rich colour and they also blend really well. I was surprised when I first tried these pencils out how creamy they are as well. I expected these to be a bit more similar to the Polychromos in texture, but these are really creamy. And although these pencils are really creamy, they don't break super easily like the Prismacolor pencils do, so these ones do last longer. They hold a sharp point for longer than the Prismacolor pencils will. So these ones are a bit better for small details compared to the other ones. One disadvantage of these pencils is there's not as many colour choices. They're there was originally, when they first came out, I think there was only 36 colours, which is not that many, but I think now there's maybe like 100 colours you can get now they've expanded the range. These pencils are designed to be light fast, so they're suitable for artist use, hence the name Derwent Lightfast, obviously. So they have a higher proportion of pencils which are like the highest light fast ratings, so these ones are definitely more suitable for artists and people that are going to sell their work or display their work. If you're just using them for colouring books and things like that, it's probably not worth spending this amount of money on the pencils, because these ones are one of the highest, like most expensive pencils out there. I only have a few of these pencils. I don't have that many. I only maybe have about 10 of the pencils. I didn't buy a set or anything. I've just got a few individual colours. So overall, I'd say these Derwent Lightfast pencils, the quality of them is absolutely amazing, and I would definitely recommend these for artists, especially if you're looking for something which has a really creamy battery texture, but you want something that's higher quality and is more light fast, and you're going to be using it for more like professional kind of work. And now moving on to the Caran D'ache Luminance pencils. These ones again are a higher quality, which is reflected also in the higher price. So these ones are wax based, like the Prismacolor pencils, and they're also quite creamy, but not as much as the Prismacolor pencils. I'd probably compare these ones to the Derwent Lightfast ones. They're most similar to those probably. But these ones, unfortunately, sometimes they are a little bit scratchy, and I don't know if it's because I just have a few dodgy pencils or something. I didn't buy a set, I bought them individually, and some of them are a little bit scratchy and some of them are super creamy. So I don't know if like maybe some of the colours aren't as creamy as the others, I don't know. But as you can see here, like this turquoise colour that I'm using, this one is really creamy. I try and avoid using the ones that feel more scratchy because they create quite a lot of texture, and that means I have to like spend more time blending them out, which I'm not really a fan of. If you don't have to do that, why would you? Unfortunately, these pencils don't come in a wide variety of colours. Well, they do, but they have less colour options available. I think there's only like 76 different colours you can get of the Luminance, although they might have released a few more, but there's still not as many as the Prismacolor or the Faber Castell Polychromos, which I'll be talking about in a moment. Having said that, there are a lot of unique colours in this range, and there are a lot of good colours for different skin tones and things like that. So if you're a portrait artist, these ones would be a great option to you. Because there's quite a few unique colours, I do find myself reaching for these pencils quite a bit because there are a few colours that I do gravitate towards. As you can see with my colouring here, the colours are very vibrant as well, which is obviously what you want. These pencils are also really easy to sharpen and they keep the point quite well. As these are a bit soft, they do wear down relatively quickly, but not as much as the Prismacolor. Obviously, those ones are just so creamy. I don't think anything can compare to the Prismacolor pencils. They're just so creamy. So overall, I definitely recommend these pencils. They're not like my all-time favourite pencils, but I know they're a lot of people's favourites. I'd say maybe like try out a few colours and just see how you feel about them. But these ones are definitely one of the most higher quality pencils. They are one of the most expensive as well. So as I said, maybe just try a few of them and just see how you get on with them before committing to a full set. And finally, I'm going to be talking about the Faber Castell Polychromos pencils. These ones are oil based also, and they come in 120 different colours. These ones are my personal favourite, especially as I do quite a lot of detailed work. So these ones sharpen to a really sharp point. They've got the hardest lead out of all the ones that I've talked about today. So they sharpen to a really sharp point, and the sharp point lasts well, which is why they're so good for like tiny details, tiny little strokes, and just, yeah, things like that. And these ones are not creamy at all, I wouldn't say. They're quite hard, but they do blend well. They just take a little bit longer to blend, so you just have to like use maybe a slightly different technique or just work a little bit harder than some of the other more creamy kinds of pencils. Most of these ones have really high light fast ratings, which is great for artists again. Some of the colours, like some of the reds and purples, don't have amazing light fast ratings, but they're the hardest colours to like get to be really light fast, so it's understandable. There still are some like reds and purples and that are higher light fast, but just some of them aren't, so obviously check before you use them in any professional work. These ones are still quite expensive, but they're not as expensive as the Caran D'ache Luminance or the Derwent Lightfast pencils. These ones are more expensive than the Prismacolors, so overall the Prismacolor pencils are the cheapest, but they don't last the longest. These Polychromos pencils, they do last quite a long time because they're so hard. They don't wear down really easily and really quickly. So these ones I'd say are probably the best value for money. But I'd say just the main reason these ones are my favourites, it's just because they sharpen to the really sharp point and you can use them for all the really tiny details. That's just my main reason for them being my favourite. Also, the colour range of these are great. There's loads of nice browns and creamy colours and things like that, which because I draw animals and wildlife, so those colours are perfect for those kind of things. But there also are a lot of bright colours in the sets as well. But yeah, these Faber Castell Polychromos pencils, these ones are definitely my favourite, but that is just my personal preference. So overall, if you're looking to do some artwork which is really highly detailed, loads of small little details, then I would say go for the Faber Castell Polychromos pencils. But if you're wanting something a bit more creamy, easier to blend, I would probably recommend either the Derwent Lightfast or the Caran D'ache Luminance pencils. And if you're wanting to do some colouring books, potentially go for the Prismacolor Premiers or the Polychromos pencils. But really, any of the pencils will work for any of these things. It all comes down to personal preference in the end. So I would recommend personally maybe buying a few of each pencil and trying them out and just seeing which ones work best for you. I hope this video has been helpful and it's helped you to know the differences between each of these pencil brands. Please give the video a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you want to see more from me in the future, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!